Today, it's Statement Saturday. Michigan versus Penn State, the game of the week, and basketball is back. This is American Game Day. Welcome to American Game Day. Today, Saturday, November 11th. I'm Brayden Slater, your host of the show. It is great to be here. It's almost Thanksgiving. I think it'll be, a week away. Yeah, and guess what? We have an amazing showdown for you today. Michigan versus Penn State. A lot of answers will be given in this game. But first, we got a lot of sports to talk about you today. Basketball is back, like I mentioned in the opening statement. But first, let's look at our weekday recap. Yeah, there were some games this week in college football. Last night, Wyoming, they look impressive all season long, but the last couple weeks they really haven't been. But UNLV is rising up. This was a great showdown. You can see the final score right there of that game. And some headlines for you in college sports. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers will be back today versus TCU. And I gotta say, I think Texas is a must-need it because Kansas State took to the overtime last week. And Murray is great, but freshman mistakes will happen. And Quinn Ewers is very well at protecting the ball very well. So, this is a big improvement for Texas, and TCU is a roller coaster of a team. I'll talk more about this game later on during our conference breakdown. And another news in Michigan, our weekly sign-stealing Michigan news. The Big Ten tells Michigan potential punishment is on the way. Yeah. And it likely won't be for another 2 years until it happens. No, actually, I know I broke the news about this on Down Distant. This is not new news. The new news is that suspending Jim Harbaugh in the coming weeks might be happening. So the Big Ten moving quicker than the NCAA is, which is actually kind of surprising. And then our game of the week. Yep, we'll see who's stealing signs in this one. Yeah, Michigan blows Penn State out. Well, we know for sure Michigan has been stealing signs. But if it's close, we know that they have backed off. Or Penn State really is that good of a team, and Michigan is just having a hard time cheating. Anyway, 11 o'clock on Fox. Gonna be a big game. Penn State, they were close enough with Ohio State. Michigan, some people say Michigan is the better team than Ohio State. So we're about to find out, is Penn State really a top 10 team? I have them number 6 in my ranking, so this is going to be quite a matchup. Now let's look at some other, the total comparison stats. So both of them almost averaging 40 points a game. Passing, Michigan totally dominating, almost 10 yards per play. Rushing, they're both even at 4. And then Penn State totally dominating, at 16 in the turnover chain. So, that's a big difference for Penn State right there. But J.J. McCarty throwing 76%, 2,134 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. That's quite some stats right there. He is really protecting the ball with that. But, 76% not bad, but Drew Allen at Penn State, 63% as well. Almost 2,000 yards. He's got 20 touchdowns and 1 interception. So, I gotta say, the quarterback battle is pretty even. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy has gotten more yards, but it's pretty close. It is pretty close. Drew Allen is more protective of the ball, but I think J.J. McCarthy's not that bad. And then the Big Ten standings, Rutgers is 5. Number 4 is Iowa, climbing back up there. Somehow they're still 7-4, I think. Penn State at 3, Michigan at 2, and Ohio State at 1. So now the game is it's a battle for second place right now. Michigan versus Penn State. And number 1, well, if Michigan beats Penn State, it'll be a battle for number 1. But if Penn State wins, it'll just be a battle for number 2. And, Iowa and Rutgers just hanging in on there. But here's the question. If Iowa wins, Iowa's got a big game today. They win this game, they set themselves up in the Big Ten West, potentially playing Ohio State or Michigan. Maybe Penn State if they somehow find a way to win today. But Rutgers, on the other hand, they had 3 powerhouse standing in front of them, so they have no shot at the Big Ten championship game. But they do have a chance to knock out Iowa out. Maryland, Nebraska. Not really. The Big Ten notable game, they're not really big ones. Not really notable, but just pay very close attention to it because Maryland, Nebraska, I think it's going to be a good game. I think really a statement of, all right, we're setting up our future years. And then Northwestern, Wisconsin, same thing. You're really setting up, Northwestern's really setting up what can we improve on for next year. In Wisconsin, if Iowa somehow loses today, possible. It's possible. Wisconsin's still in the race for the Big Ten West. But yeah, that game's on 2:30 on FS1. I have Nebraska and Wisconsin both winning these games. Yeah, they're going to be good ones. All right. Let's go on to the ACC now. The ACC's got some good matchup, but let's look at the standings real quick. At number 5 is Duke, back in the race. Number 4, well, I wouldn't say much in the race, but back in the top 5. North Carolina back up there. Georgia Tech at 3. Louisville's at 2. And number 1 is Florida State. Yeah. Louisville got a big win on Thursday night. So, Louisville's really setting up themselves very nicely for the ACC Championship. We're very likely going to have Florida State and Louisville in the ACC Championship. Georgia Tech and North Carolina are just hanging on. And then, speaking of the Duke and North Carolina just hanging on, those two play each other tonight, 7 o'clock ACC Network. I really was hoping that this would be a year that both teams will be ranked, but nope. Duke had to get their quarterback injured. No, I'm not blaming that. And North Carolina had to lose on the CW Network earlier in the season. But yeah, North Carolina barely ranked, but gonna be a good one tonight. It's gonna be the battle of the winner, maybe high hopes that Liberty falls apart later on. But NC State got Wake Forest at 1 on the CW. Yeah, the best sports network at the moment. And then Miami, they're looking good. Well, I would say this would be a good game, Miami and Florida State. It's a rivalry game, 2:30 on ABC. It's going to be a good one for Florida State. The question is, will Miami show up? They usually tend to play at the level of their competition. I know Miami should be a good team. I don't know what happened. They're basically the Texas A&M of the ACC right now. Yeah, the Jimbo Fisher, but quite a Fisher move by Miami. Really high hopes and then not living up to expectations. I think I had Miami ranked at one point early in the season. K-State at 5. Number 4 is Oklahoma. Number 3 is Kansas. Number 2 is Texas. And number 1 is the winner of Bedlam, Oklahoma State. This is your Big 12 standings, and it is looking really tight right now. Obviously, Oklahoma State and Texas are really kind of tied for first right now. But I gave Oklahoma State, with that win over Oklahoma, the 1 seed, since Oklahoma was at the top of the conference at the time, and Texas just got that loss to Oklahoma. That's what's keeping them down. But here's Oklahoma's chance to bounce back up. They got a really, really good West Virginia game tonight, 6 o'clock on Fox. This is Oklahoma's chance. Not only if they win this game, they can climb back in the top 15 and really have a chance to really climb back up in that New York 6 Bowl area. I mean, Oklahoma, no playoff chance. Big 12, they need some chaos to happen. But here's the chaos to happen. They need Texas Tech to beat Kansas. Not happening, Kansas winning. They need TCU to beat Texas. Quinn Ewers is back. Not happening. Give me Texas to win this game. Both games are on later on. Texas Tech, Kansas, 11 o'clock FS1. Again, I mentioned Kansas winning. Texas, 6:30 ABC against TCU. I think TCU will show up. It's going to be quite a ball game. I really think that TCU might even have the lead at halftime. But I really feel like Texas, on their own, they might struggle a little bit. But I think the second half, they'll get things going and they'll win by double digits. Give me Texas by 13 points. Yeah, some big games set up for, again, I guess just like the Big Ten. Not really notable, but just to keep an eye on those games. In the Pac-12 standings, at number 5 is Oregon State. Number 4 is Arizona. Number 3 is USC. Number 2 is Oregon. And number 1 is the undefeated Washington. And if we look at this really closely, you can tell that Washington really got easily first place in the Pac-12 right now. Oregon, easily number 2. The question is, it's a battle for third place. It's against USC, Arizona, and Oregon State. Gonna be some big matchups. And Utah can climb back in that race as well. If they beat Washington 2:30 on Fox on the road, they're back in the playoff race. And it opened the door for other teams as well. And Oregon opened the door for Oregon have a chance get their playoff hopes back alive. And also, it hurts Washington a lot because they're one of the 5 remaining undefeated teams left. Going to be a big game this afternoon. And also, Arizona is going to get on the road against Prime. 1 o'clock on the Pac-12 network. Going to be a good one in the pack. And then USC and Oregon. That's going to be a fun one. Pac-12 After Dark on Fox. USC is not ranked. They are not ranked. First time in what? 4 years under Lincoln Riley that he's not ranked. Yeah, coming off of fired Alex Grinch. Now, you're going to do that the week before you play Oregon. The best offense in the Pac-12, Bo Nick. Yeah, you don't stand a chance. Give me Oregon with this win. And I think Colorado might be close to this one. I think Colorado might actually have a complete game. But I got Arizona with the game-winning drive to win it. All right, let's go to the SEC now. What does the SEC have store for us? We know Georgia and Alabama are at the top. What's 3 through 5? Well, it is Missouri, and then LSU, and then Ole Miss. Yeah, it's really a battle for third place right now. And of course, Georgia, Alabama, like I already mentioned, are both undefeated in conference. Looking really tight right now. And yeah, Missouri, I mean, they had a chance against Georgia. It's a close loss to LSU. I mean, yeah, sadly they lost their quarterback. But yeah, So I don't think LSU still has a shot at the SEC this year. Just keep an eye on Ole Miss. But Missouri's got a really chance to improve their resume this afternoon. They got Tennessee. Tennessee has a chance to get back in the top 5 in the SEC with this win. Yeah, gonna be a really good ball game. I actually think the winner of this game very likely could take third place in the SEC power standings. It's going to be quite a ball game. It's going to be some offense in that game as well. This game will also have some offense. This is a prime time game. 6 o'clock ESPN, Georgia at home. Gonna be a tough one for Ole Miss. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really tough one for Ole Miss to win this game on the road. They got the offense. Do they have the defense? That's going to be the test. That's going to be the question in this game. Can Ole Miss handle Georgia's offense? And then some other SEC notable games. Alabama and Kentucky. That one's going to be a classic. I think it's going to be a classic. I think that Mike Stoops will have his team ready. I still think Alabama might have the edge in this one. But, yeah, Kentucky, I think, will show up and make it competitive for Alabama. Florida, on the other hand, what happened to you? I had a high hopes for you. Yeah, you're basically the A&M and the Miami in the SEC. Yeah, we're getting to the part of the season where we're finding out teams that had high hopes that just didn't happen. And then LSU, at home against Florida. They are ranked. They look really competitive. Brian Kelly has done an amazing job. 6:30 SEC Network. Give me LSU with this win. And I actually do have Alabama, Kentucky in my pick'em later on, the option. And here's some other key games to watch if you're interested in the group of 5. App State and Georgia State, 1 o'clock ESPN Plus, and then Texas State versus Coastal Carolina, 2:30 ESPN Plus. I think Coastal Carolina will get the win here. Give me Georgia State over App State, Georgia Southern over Marshall, 6:30 on the NFL Network, and then I'm going to go with the bold upset right here. I think Rice can easily beat UTSA 6:30 on ESPNU. And you can see the record right there. I think Rice can pull off the upset. I really do. If I did a super dog, Rice would be my super dog this week. But no, I don't. I probably should start doing that instead of joke game of the week, because it will probably make it harder for me. Alright, let's look at my top 6 right now. Nothing changed. Nothing changed in my top 6. Well, actually, there was one change at number 6, but really, my top 5 stayed the same. Really, top 4 all tied for first. It's really hard to pick who's going to be number 1. Florida State, but also I had Ohio State number 1. Most of the time, Georgia's good. Michigan, if they weren't cheating, maybe I would give them the number 1 spot. Washington, definitely number 5 right now. They are the worst undefeated team right now. What a weird stat. Be undefeated and be called the worst undefeated team. And then Penn State. I flipped Penn State and Texas this week. I really like the way Penn State's been playing lately, and it really sets up a really good Michigan and Penn State game later on this afternoon. At 11 o'clock. So we're not that far away from that game getting kicked off. CFP, the second week of the CFP being released. Did they make any changes this week? It doesn't look like it. They still have the same top 4 teams that I have, and then Washington at 5. So, yeah. Still the same teams, and if I were to, go ahead at the season ended today, this is what the playoff would look like. Yeah, go ahead, make it full screen, editor. Let me make my predictions. I think Florida State can beat Ohio State. It's going to be a close one. It might even go to overtime. I think it's going to be I have a low-scoring game. Give me Florida State. Moving on. Georgia and Michigan. I think that one's going to be a high-scoring game. Georgia might have the best defense right now, But good luck stopping Michigan's offense. J.J. McCarty, unstoppable right now. Michigan definitely has the best offense out of all of them right now. Give me Georgia. Moving on. And then I have Florida State beating Georgia. And then NFL headlines for you. Yeah, I don't follow NFL close enough, so, yeah, I don't even know who the 49er defensive coordinator is, but, the Steve Wilkins, believe his name, is moving. He, I guess, undefeated when he was in the booth, but like, oh, let's see, maybe we're losing because he's in the booth lately, so we're gonna move him down to the field, okay? But, you were undefeated at first when he was at the booth at the beginning of the season, so I don't think that's the problem. Anyway, Steelers are at 5, Dolphins are at 4, Jaguars at 3, Raiders at 2, and the Swifties are at 1 in the American Conference. First two are tied for first, and then it's really just a battle for third place right now. It's going to be quite a wild card in the American Conference. Can't wait to see this get underway. How many more weeks do we have left in the NFL? I'm going to look it up real quick. But, it's going to be quite a battle. This is going to be quite a battle. Let's see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's still we're only halfway through the season in the NFL. Okay, so there's still a lot of football left to play. Yeah, a lot of football. And I think the Swifties will continue to get wins as long as Taylor Swift down there. But they did get a win internationally without Taylor Swift. So they can't use Taylor Swift not being there that they lost. I mean, I think they're 3-2 now without Taylor Swift now. And they're undefeated with Taylor Swift. Yeah. The 49ers did end up getting a win, though, the other week, the Sunday. And, yeah. They're at number 5 now. Seahawks at 4, Cowboys at 3, Lions at 2, and Eagles at 1. I think that this is the same order I had last week. So really not much change in the Nationals. Clearly, the number 1 team in the national standings is the Eagles. And the Lions might be a close second, but the Cowboys, Seahawks, and 49ers, they can figure out what's going on with their defensive coordinator, apparently. Figure out where to put him on the field or in the booth. I think maybe they have a shot at the Nationals. They just got to win the games that they're expected to win. The Cowboys as well. They're winning games they're expected to win, but they're losing games. The Cowboys are losing games that they might be expected to win, but they're winning games that maybe they may or may not win. It's close enough. But, there was Thursday Night Football last Thursday night. Packers and the Bears. The Bears did get a big win, 16-13. Big win for the Bears, improving their playoff resume. Panthers, I think that if they weren't eliminated, I think they are. But, they won by a field goal. I'll give them credit for that. All right. And then some other big games. Our game of the week, the 49ers and the Jaguars. Yeah. Really going to be the battle between the two conferences. Really a future look at, they're in different divisions, so these two can't play each other in the playoff, but it's really going to be a true test of these two teams. 12 o'clock on Fox tomorrow, and then the Browns versus the Raiders, also at 12 o'clock on Fox, depending on where you live. Gonna be some these are really only the two big games this week. There are really no other big games, but I do have another graphic for you if you need to watch more football. Got the Lions and the Chargers if you need to watch some bad football. And the Commanders and the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a slightly better game. But again, the other graphic, if you want to watch good football games, watch those ones. But I got the Lions and I got the Seahawks. Well, the Commanders might be able to hang in with the Seahawks. But I still think the Seahawks are going to win this game. The Chargers might Might make a challenge early on, but again, the Lions are winning this game. But, our NFL game of the week, 49ers and the Jaguar. Brock Purdy for the 49ers on they actually just ended their 3-game losing streak. They are 5-3 right now. He's throwing almost 70%. He's got over 2,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, but he's got 5 interceptions. And they're having a problem defensively. Yeah, you might want to fix his interceptions ability. But Trevor Lawrence, almost 70% as well. Almost 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Again, not bad, but needs to be more protective of the ball, especially with that 49ers team. They'll take a shot at an interception or a fumble whenever they have the chance. Some NBA action this weekend. All right, the Bucks versus the Mavericks. Yeah, gonna be a good game. Wherever you get your local TV ad, you get it. Yeah, not national. And then on tomorrow night, the Pacers and the 76ers. That's gonna be a good one. Again, local game, and I really shouldn't. I don't really think they're that big of a game. Maybe the Pacers 76ers. Maybe I should make a graphic for that one for the option, maybe, if I have the time. But yeah, I got the Bucks, and I think the 76ers winning this one. 76ers, since they gave away James Harden, they actually look better. And then there was some college hoops last night. A good college basketball game last night. Arizona versus Duke. This episode was recorded before the game last night, so I don't know the winner, but you all can see the score right there. I'm really hoping that Duke win this game, because otherwise I feel stupid. Great win for you, Duke. Great win. And then some other big games on Monday to pay attention to. I'll probably get a little preview of it on my Sleep Report podcast. But Old Dominion and Arkansas, they're both undefeated right now. Same as Xavier and Purdue. I mean, we got an upset alert brewing on Monday night. So if you need something to watch besides Monday Night Football, which very likely is not that very good of a game, yeah, this one is going to be these games might be, I wouldn't say much watch, but hey, basketball's back. There you go. There's you some basketball. All right. Let's check out what's going around the network here on Busy Sports. Our upcoming schedule here. Sleep Report Podcast, Monday, 6 o'clock. What am I going to be talking about this week? Well, we'll find out whatever happens in the games today. And Down and Distance, recapping every game. Well, not every game, but all the big games. You know, your recap, the usuals. Tuesday at 6. And then Wednesday at 1 o'clock. New CFP rankings will be out. I'll give you my reaction to it compared to my ranking and tell you how stupid they are. No, not really. No Hardwood Hoops this week. I'm taking it off. But I'm really preparing it to improve a really big American Game Day on Saturday. Yeah, I'll really be more into basketball in that American Game Day next week. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. That's all going around the network here on Busy Sports. Joke game of the week. Here we go. I'm still undefeated despite South Carolina just hanging on against Jacksonville State. We're at week 11 now. 6:30 on NBC. Michigan and Ohio State. My joke game of the week this week. The number 1 team in the Big Ten, number 1 team in college football versus the worst team in the Big Ten, Michigan State. What happened to Michigan State? They used to be a really good powerhouse in college football. Not anymore. They really need a win, and they need it badly. Can they pull off the upset tonight? No, they will not. I'm going to go 11-0 with this win tonight. Give me Ohio State once again with the joke win. it's now time for the option! Starting with the NFL game of the week, the 49ers and the Jaguars, noon on Fox tomorrow. I gotta say, this is an easy pick for me. No, actually, it's really hard. I'm actually still deciding on the pick. I think I really want to pick the 49ers based on change, but I think Trevor Lawrence will get it done. And they're at home too, so give me the Jaguars in this win. I think they can pull it off. And the other big game in the NFL, it's the Browns versus the Raiders, noon on Fox as well. 56 degrees, bright and sunny, yeah. Another hard one for me to pick. No, this one's actually not hard at all. Give me the Raiders at the W in this game. I think the Raiders will win this game by double digits. Give me a double-digit win for the Raiders right here. Yeah, come on, bring up my pick. There we go, editor. Thank you. Yeah, the Raiders get this win. It's not even gonna be close at all. All right, next game. Back to college football we go. Yeah, Alabama and Kentucky, 11 o'clock on ESPN. 45 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Yeah, I usually don't talk about the weather on here that much. Unless it's gonna be, the weather's gonna impact it. It's clearly not. But, yeah. Kentucky will show up. I think, Stoops will have a good coachable team. But Nick Saban being Nick Saban, he definitely turned his team around mid-season after the Texas loss. Give me Alabama in this win. And then 2:30 on ABC, a big ACC rivalry game. Going to be a huge one. Mainly because Miami is the A&M of the ACC. And then, yeah, it's not even going to be close. Give me Florida State to win this ball game. I think Miami will show up since it's a rivalry game. They tend to play at the level of their opponents, so they might actually make Florida State look bad for once this year. And then Rutgers in Iowa, a huge Big Ten game. This is Iowa's chance to really stand out from the rest of the Big Ten West. Rutgers already out of the Big Ten East because, I mean, how can you compare with Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State? But I think Rutgers is going to pull off a big upset. I think they're going to score 20 points. Iowa's going to score probably 13 points. They're not going to win. Iowa's not going to score enough points to win this game. Sorry, Iowa. Rutgers is winning this game on the road. Big win for Rutgers and improved their bowl game resume. Group of 5 got a good one. Texas State, Coastal Carolina. You heard my pick earlier. Gonna be a good one. In case you forgot, it's Coastal Carolina winning this ball game. I think they're going to have a really decent game. I actually think that Coastal Carolina might be trailing most of the game, but they'll find a way late in the fourth quarter. Another team that I think will probably have their best game of the year. I think Oklahoma will look like the Oklahoma we saw against Texas. They got a lot of key players coming back from injuries now. But they got they're at home against the really talented West Virginia team. They look really good right now. Give me Oklahoma with the big win, 6 o'clock on Fox. And then Duke and North Carolina. Another big rivalry game, 7 o'clock on the ACC network. I really wish both these two teams were ranked. That quarterback had to get injured because he sucks. Yeah. Can you even say that he sucks now that he's injured? I guess. Well, I mean, he did get injured, so I guess he does suck now. But yeah, I think Mac Brown will get a well-prepared game, and North Carolina will get that win. Another game. This one's gonna be a hard one to pick. This might be the upset of the week. Pac-12 After Dark, 9:30 on Fox. USC versus number 6 Oregon. This is a tough one for me to pick. I'm picking Oregon mainly because they've been the most dominating team in the Pac-12, probably in college football. But this is really, since Washington, this is really their first true test. Utah and Washington. Gonna be a good one. Huge one. Because Washington really hasn't looked that impressive the last couple of weeks. This is Washington's chance to really stand out, saying that they got a really, really good Utah team coming in, but they got their backup quarterback in. Not look too bad. Been playing good football, but I think Washington will finally have the game that they've been looking for. And Tennessee versus Missouri. Huge game in the SEC. I really want to pick Missouri in this game. They're at home. They're coming off their loss to Georgia. But Josh Heupel, I mean, really hasn't been the season they had last year. But I really feel like he's going to have his team ready for this one on the road. They tend to play pretty good on the road this year. So give me Tennessee in this one. And then 6:30 on ESPN. Ole Miss and Georgia, number 9 versus number 2. Yeah, this is a top 10 matchup. How is this not the game of the week? Well, I'll get to that in just a second. But wow, this is a big game. Since it's so close in ranking, the media hasn't been talking about this so much. Give me Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss can pull off this upset. In our game of the week, number 3, Michigan versus number 10, Penn State. 11 o'clock on Fox. Gotta be a big, big game. Michigan. They've been stealing signs. They've been the most dominating team in the Big Ten. Points, points, points. They've been blowing out teams. Penn State been close. They've been blowing out their teams, but their only loss is to Ohio State. I think that this is their year. This is the year that Penn State beats one of the game teams this year. Give me Penn State with an upset today. Really claim they're number 6 in my rankings. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'll see you guys next time.